All right, a couple of things I want to talk about. Now, most of you should remember that a number of times, many times actually, I said in this whole lead up to Brexit, maybe going back months ago, I said, whatever the initial reaction is going to be, it's going to be the wrong reaction. I said that many times. Whatever the first reaction is going to be, whether it's up or down, it's going to be the wrong reaction. And that's because I know that the 100%, remember, I call them the 100%. That's my term. It doesn't mean that 100% of the people are wrong or don't get it, but it's nearly 100%. It's like 99.999. We're the only ones, a few of us, myself, and those of you who have really latched on to this stuff, we're the 0.000. So I'm just rounding it off to the 100%. Just so you know, whenever I use the term the 100%, that's everybody else besides us. And in that term us, that's just me and some of you people. Some of you are very casual and you tried out the letter MMT and you're like, nah, I don't need it. I could do this on my own. You can't do it on your own. I'm sorry. You cannot do it on your own. Maybe you've schooled yourself to some level of MMT. Maybe you've schooled yourself to some analysis of the daily treasury statement. Look, I got guys emailing me here, where I'm basically coaching them on mental game. Have you been doing this for 40 years? Have you been, applying MMT? Anyway, I digress. I'm getting off topic here. So I said that whatever the reaction is going to be, it's going to be the wrong reaction. And again, I was absolutely right, as I always am. I'm right. And that's another thing. Some of you people here, you get all in a huff and you call me arrogant and this or that, which is fine. I just don't like the libelous comments saying like, I destroyed people's investments. I made money for people. Check the people on here who comment, who have the report. They're making money. Zero losses. Okay? So I don't like that crap. All right? When people say that kind of stuff, because it's totally ridiculous and it has no basis in the truth whatsoever. So getting back to this arrogance thing. When people say, oh, you're arrogant. I'm right. I'm sorry. And I tried to use the example in the past. If somebody says that gravity keeps us on the earth and they keep saying, you're not going to fall off. I know that you're not going to fall off. Because is that person being arrogant? When somebody says that the earth revolves around the sun and somebody looks up in the sky and says, no, look, that's the sun moving. Don't you see the sun moving? And you say, no, the sun is not moving. We're moving. It's a matter of perspective. I am right. I am always right about the earth revolving around the sun. Is that arrogance? No, it's just stating a fact. Now, how can I state that so matter-of-factly? Because, as I've said in the past, if you have the information, it's not enough just to have the information. If you have the information, if you have the understanding, a lot of you don't have the understanding. Some of you are catching on, which is great because you've been following these videos, you have my reports, you bought my courses. If you have the information, if you have the understanding, if you have the mental game, you get it right. You get it right. There's a reason things work the way they do. There are forces that drive those trends. And once you understand that, you get it right every single time. I'm sorry if some of you think that's arrogance. It's not arrogance, okay? So what I said was that whatever the reaction is going to be, it's going to be the wrong reaction. And you see now that's exactly what happened, exactly as I called it. And that's why we bought the bottom on Monday. Okay, and all the stocks we have on. Here's another thing. The MMT Trader portfolio is outperforming the Dow and the S&P by a large margin. In that whole entire debacle sell-off, even with some positions that we had on in stocks. I'm not even talking about the futures portfolio, which has over 20,000 in profits without a single loss in the 19 weeks since I've been writing the report, okay? And if you that equates to almost a 50% return on the margin that would have been required in a futures account to have those positions, okay? And you wouldn't have necessarily needed all that margin at once because those trades were individual trades. By the way, all one lot trades, 20 grand, okay? But the stock portfolio, even though we have some with open losses like TBT, okay, the short treasury, overall, the portfolio is up, whereas the Dow and the S&P are down from, and I'm marking this from the time I started sending out recommendations in the report, which was May 18th, okay? So I'm right. We are right. The analysis is right. It is always right. The only, I guess, kink, and it's not really a kink, it's a question of subjectivity. Everything else we do is 100% objective. We look at the numbers, we gauge the numbers, we know what the numbers are. Okay, that is our guidepost as to what the outlook is. For those of you, again, who say it's day trading, it's not day trading. I've had the same outlook for 19 weeks. The stocks have been on there for 19 weeks. The only time it becomes a little bit subjective is when we're dealing with the emotions of the 100%. We gotta be a little bit psychologists engaging when their emotion has caused them to kind of fall off the edge of that cliff because they're all lemmings. So you get a guy like Jim Rogers who comes out with this bold statement, this is going to be the worst recession in our lifetimes. Okay, and that's an indication. Now it's again, it's a subjective thing. Finally, let me just say this. I see some websites now, like investing.com, which is a very kind of superficial. It's a good website for data and prices, but now they're coming out with a big bold headline. It's time to buy the British pound. You know, meanwhile we bought it 400 points below here, but now they're saying it's time to buy the British pound. So, you know, stuff like that might indicate a little pause here, little pause. But I get a kick out of that. You know, they wait 4, 5, 600 points to get involved. They don't see it. We see it. It's like everything we look at, or everything I look at is happening in slow motion. I see it. Okay? Now, I'm happy for you guys that have been, you know, really on top of this. I've said it in the past, you need to pat yourself on the back. It takes a lot of courage to step out. It takes a lot of courage to embrace new ideas. It takes a lot of courage and work, effort, to go out there and seek the truth. Most people don't have that in them. They're lazy. They are tied to some belief system. They have comfort in that. It's like an abusive relationship. Even though it hurts a lot most of the time, they're scared, they're frightened, they're little people, they're mousy. They don't want to step out. So what they do is they try to attack the ones that are right. We're right all the time. See you later.